Hello peeps and welcome back to Modded Minecraft Season 4. I'm on here by myself tonight. Kozak is crashed out hibernating, so I figured I would take care of some of the slightly more boring stuff. Well, I mean, it's not really boring, it's necessary at this point. You see, we've added Gregtech. Now, Gregtech adds a lot of things that you can do. However, Gregtech also comes with one major problem. And that problem is summed up in this thing right here. We have an MFSU here that is currently about half full. Our industrial craft power to this point has been mostly, well, yeah, let's go ahead and power our ME system with IC2 power. And we may as well run a couple of machines here. We might as well have a mass fabricator here for the excess. Our industrial craft power supply is woefully insufficient for what we need to do. So, we are going to have to upgrade our power supply significantly. Now, I'm going to get to that in a few minutes here. I am kind of still messing around with the bees. I have some unwearies and diligence still going over here, trying to get the industrious mutation every once in a while, so that I can try to isolate the fast pollination trait. But I'm not having a lot of luck with that. What I am having a little bit of luck with is this right here. I have been crossing rocky bees, which are world gen, with tolerant bees, which I've been getting out of the serum that I got off of my first tolerant bees, which I've fully recharged at this point. And that combination gives you hardy bees. Now, I have a rocky tolerant hybrid here. This was actually crossed with a tolerant hardy hybrid, so this could give us a possibility of a hardy. Or we could possibly skip the hardy entirely, because apparently tolerant plus hardy equals resilient, and resilient is really the goal here. I did make a slight change up here to the apiary system. There is now an apiarist pipe on the bottom of these, with some iron pipes to route them, and you can see why right there. Because these things have been breeding like mad, and, well, every once in a while, I was finding a bee just sitting on the ground. So now, any drone can go to the white, and any drone can go to the yellow. It will try to insert the bee into the apiary first, and then failing that, it will send it out here to be juiced. We're up to 37.5 buckets of juice. I haven't had any luck with the mutations here, but we do have industrious drones just breeding like mad. Now, those aren't industrious drones with the fast trait. I wish they were. So, what we need to do here, we need to get some MFSU action going on here, and we're going to need quite a few of them. That means we're also probably going to want to move all of our machinery here, so let's go ahead and take our coal dust out of here, and we'll overclock the extractor to get it done. You can see right now, with the extractor overclocked, our geothermals here are barely cutting it. I'm going to go ahead and cut the lava supply to the geothermals, and let those start draining. Now, I'm going to also start making several MFSUs. We're going to want to move all of our machines here, including the mass fabricator, so I'm going to get some scrap, of which we have 16K. We're going to put the scrap in there, and we're going to flip this thing on, and we're going to watch until it hits 0%. That way we're not wasting any power. And then we're going to move all of these machines somewhere else. I haven't quite decided yet, but I might just put them on this wall. No, that's not going to work. The room below is going to mess with that. We'll figure out what to do with the IC2 machines in a little bit. Might even just put them downstairs. 90, come on. Boom, done. We have 13 UU matter. And I think we actually have a little more than that. Yeah, we have 17 UU matter. Good start. Need to nom. Alright. I'm going to clear this recipe out, because we're going to need this fabricator in a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coal dust here, and I'm going to use that to make carbon fibers, and we're going to use that to make carbon mesh. And we're going to come over and throw these in our compressor, which is still relatively overclocked. Now we need to make some mixed metal ingots, which you can see has changed a little bit, hasn't it? Well, that's because mixed metal ingots now require plates and not ingots. How do we do that? Well, we're going to have to build us a Gregtech machine for that. We need a plate bending machine, which is 2 compressors, some pistons, and a conveyor module. The conveyor module is pretty easy, but what's this? It requires plates? Oh, no, actually it doesn't. It uses refined iron, battery, circuit. So, how many circuits do I have? Absolutely none. Let's go ahead and craft us, say, 10 circuits. We're going to need quite a few of these to get started. How many batteries do we have? None, it looks like, so we'll need a battery. We're going to need 2 machine blocks. No. We'll need some glass. We'll need a bit of smooth stone. And let's look at the plate bending recipe in here. We're also going to need 4 pistons. There's 1. We'll have it craft 3 more. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make this conveyor module. So we're going to put that recipe in there. We're also going to need just some basic refined iron. So, U, and U. Gets us a conveyor module. Compressor is a circuit, a machine block, and some smooth stone. Throw those in there, that gets us 2 of them. Click that again, and that should, when we add the pistons, get us our plate bending machine. Awesome stuff. This thing runs on low voltage, which means we have to find a way to hook this thing up. I am just going to, for the moment, slap it right on top of the transformer right here. It's not connected directly to the MFSU, it should be fine. There we go. Plate bending machine does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes plates. Mixed metal ingots have several different recipes. The most basic one is refined iron, bronze, and tin. 1 plate of each gets you 1 mixed metal ingot. Now, you can substitute nickel, aluminum. You can also substitute Invar, and Invar actually gets you a double yield. If you happen to have aluminum, Invar plus aluminum gets you triple yield. But I don't think we do yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we even have any Invar. Yes, we do. We need 4 Invar. We're going to need 4 bronze. We're going to need 4 tin. One other thing I should show you. The bronze recipe, which we know and love, is gone. It is instead replaced by this bronze recipe. Three copper plus 1 tin equals bronze. That sucks. But 3 copper plus 1 tin in an alloy smelter equals 2 bronze. That's not too bad. It's half yield, but we'll do. Let's go ahead and throw our Invar in here. We'll throw our bronze in here. And that's going to get us some Invar plates. One thing to note, do not click a Gregtech machine with a plate in your hand, because it will apply the plate to the machine that you clicked, and then you'll have to use a crowbar to break the damn thing off. That's something I discovered the hard way. I don't know why the tin plates look different, but it shouldn't matter. If we put the Invar plates on top, the bronze plates in the middle, the tin plates on the bottom, 2 mixed metal ingots per each one. Good stuff. We'll start compressing those up into advanced alloy. And in the meantime, we will start with the making of some MFEs. We're going to make 4 of these. So, 4 MFEs is going to require 4 energy crystals each, so 16, 4 2x insulated gold cable each for 16, and 4 machine blocks. So, let's do the machine blocks first. We're actually going to need 8 machine blocks total. So we'll request those. It's going to give us 7 right away. It's going to have to cook up a little refined iron to get us that 8th one. Our system knows how to do that now. If we look in the terminal here, it's currently crafting refined iron to make a machine block. How much refined iron is it crafting? Well, let's take a look. Not too much more. While that cooks, let's go check on our bees. It's dark out, so they're not breeding, but what did we get? A hardy princess and a hardy drone. Hardy tolerant. Hardy rocky. If we combine these, we'll have about a 50% chance of getting a full-bred hardy bee. Here we got Unweary and Diligent again, it looks like. Diligent Industrious. We're going to keep him. And we're going to combine these two. Oops. Oops. And this bee is still working. Let's take this bee over to here and start bealizing him. You can see I threw a bunch more serum vials in here. Alright, and I'm carrying a bunch of crap I don't need to be. Our machine block is done. There we go. We're going to need 16 diamonds. Not obsidian. We're going to need a crap load of redstone. We're going to need 16 of this 2x insulated gold cable. So we'll take the 10 that we have. We'll get 3 of that, and then we'll get a handful of rubber. That gives us 12, and this gives us 12 2x. And the recipe for an energy crystal is as such. Boom. The recipe for an MFE is as such. And then if we just toss energy crystals in here, for each 4 energy crystals we toss in, we'll get another MFE. Good deal. Let's see. Our advanced alloy is done. To convert these to an MFSU, it's going to take an advanced circuit, an MFE, an advanced machine block, which is just like that. We'll put that recipe in, and we'll add that and that. And we need some advanced circuits. We're going to need 4 of these. It will take just a second to craft that up. This is a little more of a complicated recipe. While that goes, let's go to sleep, so our bees can get to working again. There we go, 4 advanced circuits. Oh, we already had a bunch of advanced alloy plate in there. Alright, we're also going to need a crap load of Lapotron crystals. We actually need 24 of these things. Now, that means we're going to need 48 circuits. We'll start that, and that's going to take a while. So, we'll let that run. And I'm actually going to put these circuits back in there so that it stops and says, hey, you know, I don't need that many circuits. We'll put the recipe for the MFSU in there. Alright, let's go check on the progress of our bee. See if we got lucky with this. Industrious species, flowers, pollination. No luck. So, we'll nuke those serum vials. Meanwhile, how is our pollination going? I'm not seeing any mutations at all. This is actually starting to irritate me. I haven't really seen any mutations since I started using alvearies. It's really starting to bug me. Now, it could be that it's just not updated, but honestly, I've been watching this for a couple of hours, and I haven't seen any mutations. It's driving me nuts. Let's fly up here, take a look from the top. I'm not seeing any red leaves on the cherries. I'm not seeing any tan leaves on the walnuts. Wait, there's one. That's a mutation. Where's the grafter? Where is a grafter? There's a grafter. Let's break this off. Where'd it go? There we go. And that got us a common walnut. Damn. Was really hoping for a chestnut. I thought we had 3 chestnuts, we only have 2. So, we're quite a ways away from chestnut breeding. Although at this point I'm not sure if we really need it, because if you look at our seed oil thing over here, it's actually half full or so. I'll probably eventually increase that, just because we can. You know, if there's anything worth doing in Minecraft, it's worth overdoing. Throw this stuff in here. And let's check on the progress of our circuits. Only 18 of them are done so far. That's taken a while. And it's not currently crafting anything. I asked for a lot more than 18. Okay, well, you know what? Let's take this out of here. Let's pull up the recipe for circuits. Is it cooking refined iron? No, it's not even cooking the refined iron. What the hell? Okay, we got 18. We needed, what, 48? That means we need 30 more circuits. Wait, no, we need 24. Yeah, we need 48. So we need 1 more piece of refined iron. We need ass loads of copper cable. And let's look up the recipe for the copper cable. Just do that. Grab a couple more stacks of copper, throw that in, throw that in, throw that in. That should do it. Now we'll look up the recipe for the circuit. We'll throw that in, redstone, not refined iron, redstone please. Redstone gives us 30 circuits, that gives us our 48. We need a bunch of lapis for this. We won't need any more copper cable for right now. Now here's an interesting change that's made by Gregtech. If we take a look at the recipe that we have in our table down here, it's going to say, oh, this recipe no longer works. See how it's highlighted red? Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. So we'll have to re-encode that later. But if we take a look at this, it crafts a Lapotron crystal with 6 lapis lazuli, 2 electronic circuits, and 1 energy crystal. One thing that Gregtech does do is it devalues diamonds. If we take a look at the recipe for the MFSU, it takes Lapotrons. If we take a look at the recipe for the Lapotrons, there's a second recipe that uses sapphires. So we can actually use sapphires instead of Lapotron crystals and not use as many diamonds. Being as we have a ton of sapphires, we might as well use them, right? Let's look up the recipe for a Lapotron crystal. Not that one. And we'll throw the circuits, we'll throw some lapis, and we'll throw some sapphires up there. And we'll just start clicking out Lapotrons like mad. And we'll put all of this crap away. We'll need that very shortly. We don't need the copper. We don't need any more redstone. I think we're okay for lapis. A little more lapis in there, and that's going to get us everything we need. If we throw in the advanced machine blocks, the MFEs, the advanced circuits, and we start clicking in Lapotron crystals, and we select the MFSU recipe, hey, we have an MFSU. There's 3. And there's our last one. 4 bright, shiny new MFSUs. 3 of which we're going to put probably right here. Now, kind of waiting for these geothermals to finish doing their thing. For a reason. How far do we have to go on these geothermals? They should be done any time now. Frickin' zombie pigmen. Alright. We'll let those finish their thing. We'll go check on the bees while we do it. I think I just picked up, yeah, some sulfur goo. The hardy is just about done here. That bee is just about done. This one is done. Let's see what we got. Diligent Industrious. That's our princess, though. That's a risky deal. You know what, though? Let's try it. Let's see if we can get the fast pollination off of this. We can always retrain another princess to be a purebred. We have the technology. We have the serum. These 2 bees were pretty well useless. We're just going to toss them in here for now. We'll use those for recombining if we have to make a new princess. I'm hoping this gets us what we need. Normal productivity. That's all we got out of that princess. That's stupid. Alright, well, time to rebreed another princess. We need... what do we want? We'll use a modest. We'll throw her in the inoculator. We'll come over to the chest of serum, and we need, let's see, we'll turn her into an unweary. Might have to recharge the serum. But we'll let her inoculate. That means that we are going to want to combine her probably with pure diligence, which means that the unweary is here. As long as I have a diligent in here. I should probably check that first. Yeah, I got plenty of diligence. That means that these bees are juice. Alright. Are we done? Yes, we're done. You are in the wrong place at the wrong time, Mr. Pigman. Let's grab our electric wrench. We're going to charge the electric wrench off the MFSU. We're going to start pulling out some machines. Now, are we in lossless mode? Yes, we are now. We'll rip that off, we'll rip that off, we'll rip that off, that, and that, and that, and that, and that. That means we no longer need this ME cable here, so we'll wipe that out, cut down on our ME system power usage for a little bit. And the rest of this cable is still necessary, so we'll leave that in for now. Jetpack is on, let's fly up. And let's put in our new MFSUs. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to break out the LV transformer, and we're going to rip off the MV transformer. Now, we're going to have to replace those pretty quick because our ME system actually relies on that. As a matter of fact, we're just going to connect the the ME system up to straight high voltage. You can do this. It does work. See? This thing will quite happily take pure high voltage. Okay, so let's go ahead and break out this hopper. We don't need that there at the moment. We're also going to remove these geothermals. All 5 of them. Why are we going to do that? Well, we are going to change these geothermals in just a minute. Not right away. We're going to break out this cable, and we're going to, I think, cut into this. And these things have been here forever and a day. I don't really want them here anymore, so we're going to remove them. Honestly, factorization, not really necessary at the moment, so we're actually just going to go ahead and remove all of that lead wire. We might come back to factorization later. We don't need it now. We'll fill in the hole that we just made. We're going to dig this out. We're going to dig this out. My step assist is driving me nuts. Now what we're going to do is we are going to put 3 more MFSUs right here. Why not 4? I'll explain in a minute. Now, these things are facing all sorts of the wrong directions, so let's come down here and wrench them to make sure they're in the right direction. We're going to need some glass fiber. We should have plenty of power in the ME system now. Really, we have no glass fiber? Kind of wish we could update our... You know what, that's another change that I want to point out. we're going to get some gold. And for the moment, I'm just going to put our basic machines away, including the plate bending machine. We'll come back to him in a little bit. The recycler can go away, the slag furnace can go away, the mixer, all of that crap can just go away. We're going to grab some gold. We're going to grab some silver, of which we have a crap ton now. We're going to throw this in the induction smelter, and we're going to get some electrum. Why are we getting electrum? Well, that's another thing Gregtech does. Glass fiber cable actually has a more efficient recipe that uses electrum. So by throwing that, and some electrum in there, we can now get 8 pieces of glass fiber cable for each diamond. Another way Gregtech devalues diamonds. Alright, now here, what we're going to do is we are going to pull out all of this glass fiber cable, because it is now kind of defunct. We're going to connect, actually first of all, we're going to, can't wrench that off, huh? Need a crescent hammer? Damn. Really wish I had an Omni tool. There we go. We'll pull all of that off. And here we are going to connect 4 pieces of glass fiber to the bottom of each MFSU. On the top of each MFSU, we're also going to have some glass fiber. And how are we doing for power? We're actually draining power very fast. Our system down there is consuming fuckloads of power. So, we need to get to work. Why did I pull these geothermals off? Well, if we hit U while hovering over them, we'll see that they are used in a recipe for a thermal generator. Now, it's going to require Invar plates, which means we're going to have to put the plate bending machine back down to do this. Let's get the plate bending machine. And let's plug it in right here. Oh, but let's not, because it uses low voltage, right? That's not good. We don't want to plug it directly into low voltage, or high voltage, it'll blow up. We need to upgrade this machine so it can accept direct high voltage. But if we look at it, there's no place for an upgrade here. How do we do that? Let's get ourselves a couple of machine blocks. We'll get ourselves some of this gold cable. We're actually going to need a little more. So we'll go ahead and, we'll go ahead and make that while we wait on the machine blocks. We're going to need a couple of circuits, which we're just going to take. No, we're going to help the system out. And we're going to dump some refined iron directly into these powered furnaces here. Every single time I hear that farm out there browsing the leaves, I panic because I'm thinking, oh crap. Okay, we need that. We need 2 circuits. That was fast. And we need some glass. We're going to go ahead and make our transformer upgrades, which means we need to make these MV transformers, which is just that and that. Good. And we'll make our transformer upgrades. Good. But now, where do we put them? There's no interface here, right? Well, what you do is you actually just right-click the machine. that applies your transformer upgrades. And now if we pull the thing up, you'll see plate bending machine, 2 transformer upgrades. If we take this thing now and we put down our glass fiber cable, just like that, and we pop the plate bending machine on the top, it's not going to explode. This thing can now accept straight high voltage, which is truly awesome. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves 25 Invar. We'll throw that in the plate bending machine. Thermal generator also requires a piece of hardened glass and 2 circuits. So we need 10 circuits. 10 please. Begin. Done. We're also going to need 10 of this, or 5 of this hardened glass. While the Invar plate bends, we'll come out and mess with our bees a little more. We're getting pretty close to an episode here. So I'm hoping to have a breakthrough. Hardy, rocky. Well, I know we didn't have our breakthrough. Hardy tolerance, rocky tolerance. We'll try it. Here we got diligent, unweary, pure diligent, unweary diligent, pure diligent. Throw these back in. Let's go take a look and see if our modest drone has finished mutating. Yes, it's now pure unweary. Let me out of the door, please. Let me out of the door, please. Throw that in there. We'll get that mutating again. Let's block update real fast. Take a look at our leaves. See if there's anything new going on there. Not seeing any funky colors. I'll have to take a very close look later because the mutation on these walnut trees is damn near imperceptible on just a close inspection. Or a cursory inspection. A close inspection is what you have to do to spot it. I'm just not having much luck with that. Alright. We have 25 Invar plates, which if we take these and we spread them out like that, we put the geothermals up there, we put the circuits there. How about the geothermals there? The hardened glass there, that's going to get us our thermal generators. Now, what good is a thermal generator? Well, it provides 50% more power overall, 30,000 from a bucket of lava instead of 20,000, and it also produces it faster, 24 EU per pulse as opposed to 20 EU per pulse, which means it's more efficient. Now, let's go ahead and wrench off these things here. Actually, I didn't want to wrench that last one. What I want to do is I actually want to run this up the wall, like that. And I'm going to fill in right here a piece of cobblestone. And we're just going to put the thermal generators right like that. One more liquid duct right there. Here we're going to have some glass fiber cable coming off of this side of them. We'll drill that out, and then we will connect that just like that. Let's go turn the lava back on and start filling our thermals. getting lots of nice lava in there. We're putting out lots of nice energy. Although we're pulling energy out of this one, which is okay. Overall, we're getting a fairly major surplus. I don't have an EU reader. Well, I know I don't normally make them, but give me a circuit. I have some copper cable. Give me a piece of glowstone. And let's go ahead and do that, and that, and that to get our EU reader. And if we read the incoming line here, we see 120 EU per tick coming in, which is a lot better than the 80 that we had before. Or 24, no, 100 we had before. So we're getting 20 more EU per tick. And at the moment, our system is draining about 46. So we actually have a pretty decent profit going on at the moment. Now, notice that that is 46 EU per tick, and this down here, if we click on this, says 92. Notice how 92 is half, or 46 is half of 92? That's because this actually reports units per tick, not energy units per tick. 1 energy unit is 2 units. So whatever the controller says it's using, have that. Anyway, this room is now an absolute total mess. So what I'm probably going to do is, off camera, I'm probably going to go back through here, repair the floor, repair the walls, and next episode I will explain why I didn't put down this last MFS shoe. Alright? But for right now, this has been Night Dagger with Let's Play Mod of Minecraft. Hope you guys are learning something from this series. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. And, we'll catch you next time.